What's poppin', guys? You got your coach of the Chim Chargers for our Week 5 GBA match versus CrimsonCBAD of the Detroit Steel Wings. Great friend of mine, a very talented content creator as well. He has a team of Mega Beedrill, Infernape, Vullaby, Tangela, Jirachi, and a Thundurus. We are, of course, bringing the team from yesterday's building video, so if you haven't seen that, feel free to check it out. It gives you all the details of the sets that I'm bringing. Link in the description below. Now, looking at his team, upon team preview, I was like, hold on just a second here. Hold on just a second. This man doesn't have Dawn fans, so I'm like, I can Volt Switch freely on his team without having to worry about a ground type stopping us or any kind of immunity to Volt Switch. And I have Volt Switch on my Koko and Raichu, so those are really important, of course. And I guess his potential leads are going to be either the Beedrill, the Infernape, the Jirachi, or even the Thundurus. One of his momentum users are going to be his lead. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I think he's going to want to lead off with the Mega Beedrill because of the fact that he may want to get off the early Mega. Bar, of course, any kind of Choice Scarf. Mega Beedrill is his fastest U-turner, so that might be the best opportunity, or he might think that's the best opportunity to get off the Mega Evolution with Beedrill and just go right for the turn 1 U-turn. Thinking that to myself, I'm like, okay, my potential lead, of course, or my best lead in that scenario would be my Hoopa Unbound because of the fact that I am a Choice Scarf set and I am 1 point faster than a Mega Beedrill, and I can knock it out in one hit. So that's kind of my mentality going into this matchup. My goal that I had in mind was if I get rid of the Tangela, then my electric attacks from Raichu or Kogo can just run through his team, because looking at his team, nothing wants to take a T-Bolt in electric terrain except for that Tangela. Vullaby is a defensive Pokemon, but it does not want to take a T-Bolt. The rest of his Pokemon are offensive and take T-Bolt neutrally, so that's not going to be great, especially from a Specs alolan Raichu, which can hit harder than a Life Orb. So let's just go ahead and start this game, and I'll show you guys what exactly went down in this match, and let's just get right into it. So as you can see, he does decide to challenge me. He's going to be leading off here with his Mega Beedrill. The Mega Beedrill comes out here, and I'm going to be leading off right with my Hoopa Unbound. So pretty much what I expected the turn 1 to end up being. And I don't want to overpredict or anything. I just want to stay in, go right for the attack. He decides to also stay in and Mega Evolve, not trying to scout what set my Hoopa Unbound is. And I can go right for that hyperspace hole. Look at that nice animation going right up behind him, sneaking up and just knocking him out. Turn 1 Mega Beedrill. I don't have to play that the entire game. And now he's going to go into his Vullaby. Of course, he knows now that I'm a Choice Scarf and I can't stay in. Due to it being a Dark type, of course, I'm locked in. I got to switch out into my Tapu Koko. You know, he knows that I'm going to switch out into a Pokemon like that. He's going to go for the U-turn, get the switch initiative here, go right for that U-turn, and he will now go into his Tangela. And knowing that, of course, he'll probably sponge an attack here, I kind of want to gauge the damage that this Tapu Koko does. So I'm going to go right for the Volt Switch, and as you can see, he's able to eat that up really well. So I know for a fact he's probably a more Spadef bulky set with Tangela, and he can just regenerate it at any time he wants to. So he's going to go for the sub here. So I'm like, okay, sub Tangela, probably sub Leech Seed, I'm guessing. So I'm going to go here for the Ice Beam so that I can break the sub and kind of figure out what set he is. And maybe force him out right after and try to predict him to switch out. Goes for a Stun Spore and does miss, so that's unfortunate for him. Doesn't really play out in the end though. Like, I don't really, have to play with para turns or anything. And he goes into his Jirachi. I'm going to predict his switch out of Tangela into his Steel type, go right for the Earth Power, gets a massive damage on the Jirachi. Now I'm going to switch out here, expecting him to want to be an offensive Scarf set, and he is actually going to go for the U-turn, so it kind of confirms to me that he is probably a Scarf set or something. He's either Scarf Jirachi or Scarf Infernape. Now he's going to go here into his Thundurus, not wanting to take an electric type attack. I am going to switch out here from Empoleon into my Tapu Koko, and the reason is, of course, because he is a flying type, so he's not going to be affected by electric terrain. His damage is not going to be doing more with his electric type attacks because flying types are not affected by electric terrain. So he actually reveals that he's Wild Charge. So okay, I'm like, okay, this is a physical Thundurus set. And he switches out here into his Jirachi. I predict him to want to go into his Tangela, so I try to get off a Z move here to try to blow that Tangela back. But I kind of just want to show off my Z move either way. It's a different Z move than I usually bring on Koko. I haven't brought Fairy yet. So let's just go ahead and check out this Twinkle Tackle and appreciate this move real quick here. So look at this thing. Goes right around it. Nice little dance. Kicks that Jirachi and it barely lives. I think it was kind of a roll here. But now I can go ahead, switch out here into my Gligar. Kind of want to switch things up from Empoleon, not wanting Empoleon to take too much damage. He goes for the Stealth Rocks. I'm like, okay, he got up his rocks. This is a perfect opportunity to show off my Empoleon's Defog once again for this week. To, of course, honor the Defog Empoleon. He goes into his Infernape, which is nicknamed Endeavor, so I'm not sure if he has a Sash or not, but I go for the U-turn here, expecting his switch out of Jirachi, expecting him to be scarfed. Whatever. If he had a focus dash on Infernape, it's now broken. I can go into my Raichu to force him out because Raichu is of course faster than every single Scarfer that he could potentially have. He goes into his Tangela, which you know, I'm a Specs Raichu. I can go for Volt Switch. That still does a decent amount of damage as well. And I can just Volt Switch out of here into my Empoleon, have the initiative here to get off that Defog, and he'll probably be forced out here. So I can get off a Defog here. He does decide to switch out into his Thundurus, and I'm like, okay, he went into Thundurus here, probably expecting the Defog, and he does reveal to be Defiant Thundurus with Wild Charge. So he's probably the Flynium Z set from, you know, from what I know, since this is a Z move. So I'm like, I don't want to risk Empoleon. Empoleon is kind of valuable to this matchup. So I'm going to go here into my Gligar, expecting maybe a Wild Charge or a Fly. He actually goes for the Z move, so it's going to be the Z Supersonic Sky Strike. And check this move out here. Look at this. Nice. Thunder is going for that Z move. It's a +2. I think this is the main Pokemon that he has on his team that's getting the most knockouts on the leaderboard. So he's going to go right for the +2 Supersonic Sky Strike. Actually, the crit actually didn't matter in the damage rolls. In the damage sense, it did a max of 98, so I would have lived that. But he probably just knocked me out either way, and I would not have switched out or anything. So it doesn't really matter. But I just wanted to tell you guys that I would live that. So I'm going to go into my Coco, force him out into his Tangela. I mean, I just went for the T-Bolt because it's a threat on the field right now. Can't risk him living a Volt Switch or anything like that. And I do get a Para on this Tangela, which tried to Para me, which is pretty ironic. But I'm going to go for the Volt Switch here, as I can go ahead and switch out into my into my Raichu, expecting him to want to go for the sub, of course, which he does. And because he went for sub here, I know for a fact that I can just Volt Switch and break the sub. And I can just go ahead and Volt Switch out here. And I can go right into my Kyurem. I Volt Switch out into Kyurem here. Like, I go to Raichu first because I don't want him to like hard stun spore me. And then I can Volt Switch out into my Kyurem because he can't paralyze electric type Pokemon. Can't paralyze electric types. And he goes for the Endeavor, so I'm like, okay, wait, this is a sub Endeavor set. That's pretty heat set here with the sub Endeavor. He's gonna switch out here into his Jirachi. I can just pick this thing off with an Ice Beam. He of course had to save Tangela because that's his only Pokemon that can take an electric type attack. But at this point, like, his team is getting weakened. Like, his Tangela is getting weakened. He goes into his Thundurus here. I'm like, I can't let my Kyurem die because Kyurem is still kind of useful if the Tangela gets out of hand or if the Tangela gets more annoying. I still have my Roost Kyurem because Kyurem can roost on that Tangela set pretty easily. So he's actually going to go for the Fly as I go into my Empoleon. And he just drops down. I can go ahead here and get my hazards up. So Empoleon already has went for Defog, has gone for Rocks. You already know this Empoleon here has been putting in the finest work in terms of team support with hazards and hazard control. I am going to sack it off though because I don't really need it anymore. It's done its job. It's done phenomenally in this match. I can go here into my Tapu Koko now, get up the electric terrain, and I'm like, okay, you know, I have hazards up. His team's a bit chipped a little bit here and there. It's time. So he's gonna go here into his Tangela, which is already parried. I can. It's gonna take some rock damage as well. I can go for a Volt Switch. And now we can bring in, of course, the Pokemon that's going to help us win this game. My boy Choo Choo, the Raichu, Mega Raichu, alolan Raichu, I almost said Mega Raichu. Pretty much is a Mega Raichu. Look at this nice T-Bolt, knock out the Tangela. And next Pokemon he'll bring out is the Vullaby. He doesn't really have much. I think he's trying to stall out the terrain at this point. And then go here for another T-Bolt, knock out this Vullaby. Next Pokemon that he brings out, I think, is going to be, I think he has the Infernape still. Yep, brings out the Infernape here. And we can go once again for another Specs Thunderbolt. Go ahead and knock this boy out. And the last Pokemon that he has is going to be the Thundurus, which is going to also take rock damage as well. Pretty sure it also knocks it out from full because it's a Specs Raichu. And we go for another T-Bolt and knock this boy out as well. So that's going to be GG. It is Emvee. Hope you all enjoyed this match. Very solid game. Good game to my buddy CrimsonCBAD, of course. Be sure to check out his channel. I'll be watching his side of the game. He does live comms, so I like watching people's reactions and stuff. Even though I don't like doing live comms myself, I like doing post comms because I can kind of analyze the game a bit more and just give you guys a more in-depth perspective of it. But and of course a quicker one at that, like not sitting there for like 45 minutes or something. But yeah, overall, like this game went pretty much according to plan. Upon TV preview, I was like, okay, if I get rid of that Tangela, Raichu just wins. Raichu does so much work. And I feel like no matter what kind of like team that he brought, at the end of the day, like Donphan and Tangela, both of his electric type checks they get worn down pretty fast, especially like Donphan, which does not have really reliable recovery, can't rest up in electric terrain either, and Tangela, which does not have the best BDF stat. It was a tough matchup for him, but he did play it pretty well, and I really like that Thunder set a lot. I ran it with bulk up in OU. That was a really fun set. But yeah, anyways, we're going to be winning this match. We are now currently 4-1 in the league. Doing really well so far. So next week is going to be, I think, the halfway point of the season before playoffs, and it's looking pretty clean. So overall, really, I guess really satisfied with this match. And next week play Cybertron, which is going to be versus Rain. So hopefully we can be prepared for that. But anyways, that's going to be it from me. Let me know what you guys think, of course. I think it was a pretty clean match overall. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys on the next video. Peace.